Hey guys, welcome to the Trademark Like a Boss show. I'm Radiance Harris, founder and managing attorney of Radiance IP Law. And today I will be sharing my top tips for getting into IP law. If you are watching live, say hello, speak with me in the comments, ask any questions you have, drop where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, be sure to drop the hashtag replay just so that I know that you tuned in. So the reason I wanted to do today's show about how to get into IP law is because I am regularly contacted by law students and college students and other attorneys who are interested in transferring from whatever they're doing now into trademark or copyright law. And so thought it'd be good to do a show, just sharing my personal career path into IP law, and then also giving my top tips based on my own experience and those of other people who I know who have taken certain paths to try to get into this field. So my story is that I attended the University of Maryland School of Law. So that's where I went to law school. And when I went to law school, I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to do intellectual property law. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer at 15 years old after meeting a basketball teammate's father who was an attorney. He didn't do IP law, he did like environmental law. Shout out to Ben Wilson. First lawyer I met, I knew at 15 I wanted to be a lawyer. And so I was like, okay, I want to be a lawyer. And of course, at that time, most Black women, when they said they wanted to be a lawyer, it was like, I want to be an entertainment lawyer, not really knowing what that meant or what that entailed. So anywho, that's where my journey started at 15 years old. Fast forward, went to law school. While in law school, I discovered that I had an interest in intellectual property law. And I discovered that the summers after my first year and second year in law school, I did summer associate programs at two different law firms. So the summer after my first year of law school, I was a summer associate at Whiteford, Taylor & Preston. And then the summer after my second year in law school, I was an associate at DLA Piper. And so during that summer, I kept an open mind and actually tried different practice areas. So I was doing bankruptcy, corporate, real estate, family law, trademark and copyright law. So I just kept an open mind. I knew I wanted to do transactional work. I wasn't interested in litigation, even though I did actually do a little bit of litigation during those summers too. Well, ultimately, I discovered that I loved trademarks and copyright. It was very much on brand with like my love for words and meaning, and because I was an English and actually religion double major in undergrad. So that's also an important thing. I do not have a technical background. I have a liberal arts background, and that's what I used to be able to go to law school and then into doing what I do. So I really discovered at that time that I really loved trademark and copyright law. Fortunately for me, I was able to get a position at DLA Piper in the Trademark, Copyright, and Media Group. I got that offer actually the summer after my second year. So before going to my 3L year, I already knew I was going to be going to a big firm doing trademark, copyright, and media law. And what was so awesome about that opportunity is that I graduated during the economic recession of 2009. So a lot of my peers did not have jobs, but yet here I was with this amazing job lined up. It was a dream job, really, because that's what I really wanted to do. And that's where my career started. Now, flash back a little bit to when I was in law school. I did take a few intellectual property classes while in law school, just so I could have that information or have that knowledge. And then on top of that, I've actually published an article. I actually had 2 articles published while in law school, one of which was on trademark licensing, the other of which was on like race, gender, and class, because I was on the Race, Gender, and Class Journal while in law school. So I did take some classes, so I had a little bit of knowledge. I had some experience doing the summer internship programs, And then fresh out of law school, bam, I'm doing trademark and copyright law. And so that opportunity set me up to really be able to continue to do trademark and copyright law over the last 12 years. So it's what I've done. It's what I enjoy doing. And it was fortunate that I was able to start my career at a big law firm with just amazing attorneys who mentored me and really showed me what this area was about, and really molded me to become the attorney that I am today. So I am very grateful for that opportunity to have started my career. I know that my journey is not similar to a lot of people who are interested in getting into intellectual property law. What I've discovered that it's quite difficult to actually get into this space. It's difficult because a lot of times those who are hiring people are looking for people who have experience. So my story experience is very, I guess you could say, rare. To be fresh out of law school, get a position in the area that I was interested in, and then to continue to do that throughout my career. So I do recognize that my experience is rare. So that being said, I do have a few tips that I would like to share with anyone who is interested in getting into IP law, whether you are a law student or a newer attorney who's discovered that, okay, I really want to do this. I'm having a hard time getting into this space. So I would say my first tip is create a plan. Sounds very simple, but it's essential. Like, you have to create a plan. And for me, my journey started when I was 15 years old, and I actually made a plan. I made a plan to go to law school, to then, and then I discovered, actually, so at 15, I made the plan that I wanted to go to law school, and literally everything I did, from the college that I chose to go to, the stuff that I majored in, the extracurricular activities that I did, was a plan to be able to go to the best law school that I could. And during my junior year of college, I did a summer internship at no, it wasn't a summer internship. It was like a summer program. It was like a pre-law program at the University of Iowa School of Law. I went there for a month and took these law classes, and we actually took a field trip to a big law firm in Chicago. I think it was Womble Carlisle is where we visited. And that was my first introduction to big law firm life, like what it is, what a big law firm is. And literally junior year of college, I was like, okay, I want to work at a big law firm. And that's when part two of my plan, like, what do I need to do to be able to get to that big law firm? And so it is so important to create a plan for yourself and to stick to that plan, because that's going to be very essential to getting into this space. So my number one tip to you is, figure out what your goal is and create a plan for that. The second tip is get the highest, if you're in law school right now, get the highest possible grades and take classes that interest you. So I say this because when I was in law school, I listened to some idiotic 3L who told me to, take bar classes because you're going to need to know to pass the bar. It was the worst advice I was ever given. Like, no, do not focus on taking the bar classes. That's what bar prep is for. You have bar prep to learn everything you need to know for the bar. What you need to focus on in law school is actually taking the classes that, one, you need to actually graduate, but two, classes that you enjoy, that you have interest in, and that you can get the highest possible grades in, right? Because you want to set yourself up to be able to come out and get the best job that you can. And the reality is, like, your first job out of law school, they are actually looking at your grades. And so whatever that is, I don't care what it is, I would say, take the easy classes. So if there's a professor who's known to be particularly easy, take that class and set yourself up. If there are trademark, copyright, licensing classes, take those classes as well, because it's something that you're interested in, and do the best that you can. Like, I am just pissed off to this day that I listened to that 3L and I can't even tell you who it was, but it was the worst advice ever, because I ended up taking commercial law my third year of law school, even though I didn't need to. Mind you, I already had a job. It was like the hardest class I took, and nearly failed. I mean, I think I might have got, it was like the first C I got in law school, my 3L year, because I listened to some 3L who told me to focus on taking bar classes. So don't do that. Focus on taking classes that you love and enjoy and can actually do well in, okay? My third tip would be get experience in intellectual property law. It's crazy because oftentimes you're looking for a position to be able to get the experience that you need. But the reality is that to get into this space, people who are in hiring positions will want to see that you are actually interested in it. You've got some experience. So whether that's taking, IP classes in law school or taking outside IP courses, whether it's like through conferences or independent courses or through different bars, take those courses. I know people who have even been out of law school for a few years who have gone back and got their LLM in intellectual property law just to show that they are really interested and, have that specialty. I would say, get internships in IP if you're in law school, doing the intellectual property law clinics, freelancing for a trademark or copyright or IP law firm, so you can get the experience and learn more. All of those things are going to be so important because it really is difficult to get into this space without having some kind of practical experience. So my tip to you is get as much practical experience as you can, and it'll put you in the best position possible to be able to get into this space. My fourth tip is network, network, network. Like network like nobody's business. Talk to as many people as you can who are doing exactly what you want to do. So speak with the people who are doing exactly what you want to do, and also leverage your current network, like your professors, your classmates, your peers, your colleagues, people who might know someone. Leverage those opportunities. You don't necessarily have to go and meet a whole bunch of new people. It's like really start with thinking about your current network. Who do you know who could help you, introduce you to certain decision makers, those sort of things. So definitely network, network, network. That's going to be so essential. And I know people personally who have actually been able to finally get opportunities in this space because they networked with the right people. So always continue to network. And in fact, being a part of the legal profession, you have to learn how to network and network well. So that is my fourth tip. My last tip is don't give up. Do not give up. Yes, it can be a challenge getting into the intellectual property law space. But I want to share a personal story with you. I remember going to law school and people are always saying only the people who graduate in the top 10, 20% of their class will get a job opportunity at a big law firm. I am living proof that that is false because I couldn't even sniff. I was so far away from top 10 and 20% of my class. Like I had great grades. I did really well, in extracurricular activities, but I was not in the top 10, 20% of my class. But yet I still was able to get a position at a top law firm doing exactly what I set out to do. So don't get discouraged. Continue to follow that plan you've created for yourself and know that what you envision for yourself is so possible. Even if the timing may not be what you envision for yourself, or maybe it might be taking a little bit longer than you may have expected, but don't give up. Keep going, keep staying the course, networking, getting that experience, and you will get exactly what you desire for yourself. So I will leave you with that tip. And I can absolutely attest to the fact that I love trademark law. I love copyright law. I love what I'm doing. It is a awesome area of practice. It allows for the best work-life balance and quality of life. And honestly, if someone were to say, okay, we're taking away trademark law. Like that's not an area that you can do anymore. I would not be a lawyer anymore because there's nothing else I would rather do. Like there's nothing else I'd want to do other than what I'm currently doing. So just know that this is totally possible for you. And I hope that you found my tips helpful. And yeah, I mean, so that's what I have for you today. And of course, if you have any other questions or follow-ups, feel free to drop them in the comments, shoot me an email. I would love to, help any way I can. Of course, I can't talk to every single person who reaches out to me, but hopefully you found value in this video and I can be a resource for you as you come into the IP field. So until next week, take care, guys. Bye.